What's going on YouTube? This Baker Man coming at you today, and I'm in the garage working on the bike, and I just wanted to bring a short video to you to share something that I've discovered here. So a lot of people that I've seen and talked to like to do budget builds, which includes painting with spray paint. The biggest decision making whenever painting a vehicle or project with spray paint is your clear coat. Some people like to use just the standard spray paint, one part clear coat. Nothing wrong with that. The only issue is it doesn't get as hard as quick, and it tends to yellow after long-term use. So people who don't have access to an actual low volume, high pressure sprayer tend to use a 2K clear coat, which is a clear coat that comes in a can. It's a two-part clear coat that has a little reservoir at the bottom that you poke through. It mixes everything, and it's a two-part clear coat that you can use for up to 48 hours, maybe 3 to 5 days, whatever. So this is a short review on that. Now, on the bike, about a year ago, I decided I wanted to do a red base coat and a hydro dip. So I went with the design called Rose Garden, and this was the result. Now, after a year of use, this has some wear and tear on it for the worst. There's a scratch right there, which I just put in the other day, taking this bike back apart. But you can see that it is a very nice and shiny clear coat, even with it being dirty. You can go over to my Instagram page, which I'll link in the bottom, and you can see the process of me painting this. Now, I used a Krylon Color Max as the base coat, and be warned, this isn't an easy project where you just spray it, dip it, and you're done. This took a lot of work. Prep is king. It's 90% of it. If you can feel it, you'll be able to see it. It's a lot of sanding, cleaning, prep work, the whole 9 yards, man. It's a lot of work. But after I got the base coat done, wet sanded, and it's ready to go, I used a hydro dip that I got off Amazon called Skull Garden, and I dipped it, let it dry. All that's also on Instagram as well. From there, I went with a two-part clear coat. Now, there are two of these panels. These are actually the gas tank covers, because on my bike, the gas tank is under the seat, not actually where most bikes' tanks are. So with that being said, I used an entire can of this 2K clear coat on both of these panels because this was all that I had prepared at the time, and I just was testing it out to see how it worked. Needless to say, this clear coat has not been wet sanded or treated after painting. This is just one can, well, about half a can on this one part right here, and half a can on the other part that I've got here behind me. I'll show you in a second. So I think it took about 6 coats, and the reason why I did so much is because, like I said, this was the only part that I had prepped ready for clear coat, and you can only use the can for so long, so I went ahead and just used it all. Needless to say, I think it turned out absolutely wonderful. So the problems that I had with this, it was, how do I say, it didn't harden as quick as I would have liked for it to. Maybe that's my fault, but I'd left it sitting in my shop. Well, actually, I took it inside so it could have a temperature-controlled environment to dry in. We kept it about 70 degrees in the house. And I left it sitting inside for 2 days in a clean environment and temperature-controlled. 2 days later, I went outside to put these on, and this could be a combination of several factors, so it may be my fault. It probably is. But whenever I attached it to the bike, and you can see, let's see if it'll focus. So you can kind of see the spirals here in the paint. What happened here is the bolts that I had used to go through here to attach this to the frame had kind of a texture on the bottom, and the paint wasn't hard. and it pretty much just pulled that paint around with it and twisted it. I thought I had ruined it, so I didn't want to pull it off, so I left it on there after that for the entire year. You can see here, it did it as well on this one. I know that's hard to focus, but you can kind of see where the paint spiraled. There we go. Anyway, I was scared to pull it off because I had put so much work into this. Well, now, a year later, this is absolutely rock hard. I mean, that spiral pattern is permanent in there. And there's some thin spots here that are flaking off like that. But, you know, it's coming off anyway. The point of this video is so that I can show you whenever you properly do this and give it the correct amount of time, how hard this clear coat gets. So if you're worried about spending your money and it not being worth it, I totally recommend this clear coat if you have the proper amount of time to let it dry and cure and harden like it's supposed to. So with that being said, we all know how thin a hydro dip coating is. Now this here is the layers of the red, all wet, sanded, and prepped. And then I hydro dipped it with this rose garden pattern. Didn't do anything after that except for immediately went to clear coat after it dried. So we all know how thin this stuff is. I mean, some places you can even see through it and see the red under it, the black. That's how thin the hydro dip coating is. So here we are a year later. I've got the bike completely taken apart and I'm redoing it in a rhino lining. So let me show you how cool this stuff looks real quick. This is the finish that I'm going with, and maybe it's outplayed. I don't know. The lighting in here sucks, but trust me, in person, this looks amazing. This is a Rust-Oleum brand of their truck bed liner. So from here, I want to show you the piece that I have begun to work on that was painted and hydro dipped. Now, this is an 80 grit sandpaper with a palm sander. I worked on this for about 15 minutes. And in some spots, like around the edges where it was thin, you can see I've made it down to metal. But an 80 grit sandpaper has left probably 98% of the hydro dip on the surface. That is how hard this clear coat dries, and it probably has something to do with how thick I put it on too. But I just wanted to show you guys this so that if you're debating on spending the 20 bucks a can and want to know how well it dries, how thick it goes on, and how durable it is, go for it, guys. This stuff, when given the proper amount of time, dries thick, dries hard, and you could literally throw on like a 220 grit on your palm sander and sand out the clear coat to get the imperfections out of it in between your layers if you were going that route. So like I said, I completely recommend going this. If this clear coat would have went through, that hydro dip surface would have been gone immediately. And I'm seeing it now. There's some spots where it didn't even, some low spots where it didn't even get it. And I'll go back over that here in a minute, but for the rhino lining, it doesn't need to be taken down to metal. So I wanted to show you guys this so that you can see what you're getting into. Skip the 1 part clear coat, guys. Invest your money in a 2K clear coat. Use it right and give it time to cure. And I promise you will be satisfied with the results. Anyways, I just wanted to bring you guys a short video and show you that I was experiencing. I thought that was really awesome how that was working out. And I never expected that 2K clear coat to dry that hard. As a matter of fact, when I saw the swirls in the paint where the bolts had kind of twisted the paint layers, I thought I'd really messed up, and I didn't even want to take it off because I thought I wasted my money. But now that I'm getting around to taking it off and sanding it, this is not a waste of money, guys. This is completely worth the cost. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you make a little decision based off your budget painting skills. Peace out.